I first tried mountain biking in 1981. A gnarly guy from Kamloops, BC, was named Craig Olson, and he got the first production mountain bike that was made, a
Whatever,
specialized stump jumper.
whatever, like
Yeah,
proper mountain bike.
it like a yeah like ever. It was like there was some hand built like breezes around and stuff, but the first mountain bike that was like a production mountain bike was a specialized stump jumper, and my buddy got one. And then in 1981, we were riding that in my back alley, and then riding the hills down behind my parents' house into the backyard, which is quite steep and aggressive. And I that was the first free riding that I ever did. Was like just no trail, raw dogging it down through the bush into my parents' backyard, and it was scary. Um, I also tried snowboarding in 1981, um, but it took me 2 years to save up enough money to buy a mountain bike. So I bought one in 1983, a Kuwahara, and then I actually made a snowboard in 1983. So I started actually really going for it in 1983, but I tried both of the sports in 81. And then through the 80s, I mainly focused on snowboarding and mountain biked a bit for fun, some rowdy stuff like riding chutes and some stuff that I guess was like some of the earliest free riding that was happening in the world. I didn't know it. I thought everyone just did
But
this.
like you wouldn't have known, right?
Um,
Because there's no magazines, no obviously
there
no
was no
internet, but
magazines.
you would have not
There
known
was no movies. There was nothing. There was just like
you and your
there was
buddies.
mountain bikes. Yeah, me and my buddies were just riding down these steep hills, and I was snowboarding, at the same time with no photos, no video. Like no one had phones. There's no cell phones yet. It was just doing it, and I started competing as an amateur in the '80s, and then I went pro snowboarding in 1991 when I met Craig Kelly, another one of my heroes, and he actually talked me into it. He saw me ride, and he's like, "Dude, you should race." And I'm like, "Really?" And we actually got in a fight when we first met. Me and Craig Kelly, one of my heroes, because I poached one of his lines because I didn't think he was going to show up for a shoot, so I just wrote it. And then he kneed me and Charlie horsed me in the thigh with his knee, and I threw him in a headlock and ran him into my fridge. And then I explained what happened, and then we became friends. And I think I might be the only person in the world that's run the six-time world champion Craig Kelly's head into a fridge. My hero. Anyways, he ended up selling me his downhill suit and talked me into racing pro. So I went pro in 1991, and I finished seventh on the U.S. circuit against Palmer, against Craig Kelly, against Mike Chico, like against Mark Fawcett, all the fast guys, and I was top 10 in the states, coming from Canada, but I was like seventh in the pro circuit, and so I started racing World Cup in '93, and actually in my first World Cup, I got the second fastest qualifying time against everybody, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, and then I thought I was gonna win, and
Red
then I ended
Tippie
up
from
blowing it. I
BC,
think I
dude.
got. I'm
Tippie
Tippy
from
from BC.
BC.
But that's all I did was rode. I rode all the time. I rode
What
like
were you doing for work at the time? Like, how did you have the time to do it?
I was well. I tree planted all summer, and then I would snowboard all winter. And
You're like a
snowboarding was my
snow
main
bump,
thing.
like as they call it, right? Like
Yeah, I
work
was like
up
a
to
like
like
a
snowboard and pursue your career, but like,
right.
okay.
Yeah, and so mountain biking just for fun, um, but actually doing really like steep lines because that's what we got for, that's what we got a rush from, and like I wanted to snowboard so bad in the summer, but I couldn't afford to go to South America or go to New Zealand or to the glaciers in Europe where all my competitors are racing. So I used just to gravel board. I take my snowboard down the gravel pits and train in the gravel pits. And if you crashed, it hurt. You get all strawberried up and caught up, and so you actually got quite good. And then I would take my mountain bike down these pits for fun too, and that's what actually led to early free riding. Was like riding our bikes down these gravel pits and down the clay hills and Counts. There used to be a lake, and now it's like a river down the bottom. So it's left these giant, steep, vertical clay walls and chutes and cliff drops everywhere. And so we were just like horsing around, mountain biking when we weren't sandboarding in the summer when we weren't working planting trees, and it became like another sport. And so I went pro snowboarding in '91, and then um, through a series of events, I actually went pro mountain biking in the fall of '97, and it was just a crazy time, and yeah, it was super fun.